Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Digital Painting Dos, or deux, if it's speaking in French. Now, I picked this example to show you how the folded paper is in here. Give you kind of an example of using different colors to create the shadows, the midtones, and the highlights. That's what you're going to be doing. Now you're going to be gluing. You're going to be applying um, your practice into an actual piece of artwork using different variety of colors of construction paper. Listen for the transition. All right, so the tools you're going to need basically to start off with is you're going to make strips. So you want a ruler, you want scissors, or you want an X-Acto blade. And if you have an X-Acto blade, you are not marking on my tables. No marky on the tables. You can see here, okay, with the blade, I'm going to point it away from the ruler and twist it a little bit so the back part of the blade is resting on the ruler so I'm not cutting up my ruler, okay? You're going to press it down, you're going to twist it slightly so the back part of the blade, not the sharp part of the blade, is resting on the ruler, and you're going to drag it towards you, putting pressure of the knife against the ruler so you get a nice straight cut and you're not cutting my rulers. Also notice that there is cardboard underneath me, not just wood. So when you cut through the paper, you're not cutting into my tables. That gives it a wonderful texture that will annoy somebody later. It is only cutting into the cardboard, which we can throw away and get more cardboard a lot easier and a lot cheaper than getting new tables. So as you see me just going, I'm putting the knife down, I'm twisting it slightly to put the dull side of the blade against the ruler, and I'm keeping that secure as I go down. Make sure that your hand is relatively heavy when pressing it through. Because you want to cut the paper all the way through. This is one way of doing it. You don't have to do it this way. And getting them nice and straight, you can pre-measure if you like to. Make sure that if you want 1 inch, everything's 1 inch by measuring out 1 inch and drawing lines. Or you can just eyeball it like I'm doing here and doing strips. The only problem is you're not going to have perfect strips. You're going to have some that are a little thicker on one end and thinner on the other end, or you're going to have some janky lines, and those strips will not sit perfectly as you glue. You see here now I'm doing a pencil, so I'm going to do another method. You choose which one you want to do. I'm giving you options here. But with the scissors, you wouldn't need the cardboard because you won't be cutting on a surface. You'll be cutting in mid-air using the shears. So here I'm trying to show you. And we're going to get a nice little close-up. You can see the pencil lines. So I made pencil lines. Again, you can measure it out if you want perfection. Or you can make lines and follow the lines using the shears. So you're cutting and you just go and follow the pencil lines. Nothing too difficult. Make sure that your paper that you have is not too thin. We want a decent thickness, at least 1/4 of an inch in width. The length can be determined and cut and trimmed down later. If you want to go extra long ways, go extra long ways. I'm going to the side of the paper and I'm not going long ways. It's up to you because it's a little bit easier doing, the 8.5 side opposed to the 10-inch side because you have a shorter distance. It's a little bit easier to hold on to when you're cutting with shears. So there's the ruler, there's the pencil, and there's the strips. You're going to need a lot of strips, a lot of them. It's not just probably one page. You're going to have to do multiple. All right, it's going to transition. Wait for it. Wow. All right, here we go. Now this is the application. You can see here I got a pencil, I got some strips, I got glue, and we're going to have a wonderful, wonderful experience doing that. I got extra scissors if I need to. So right now I'm freehanding. I did a bird. I think I did a bird this time. So I'm lightly sketching it out, not putting a lot of pressure. I want the pencil line to be very, very faint. Fainta. Alright? I'm looking at my computer as I'm doing this, and I can see just a hint of line. It's not dark. Here's one way to curl it. You get some scissors like that, you press it through, and see how it curls the paper. You can do that a couple times and get a nice curl. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? That's so great. Okay, good. I'm playing with it. There we go. And you can set it about anywhere. You can tighten it up if you want to. You can stretch it out, but it will have a curl or bend to it. It will make your life a little bit easier putting stuff in. You can see here I took that paper and did it with my fingers. And now it's time to glue. You want to see where you're going to glue it, how you're going to attach it. So measuring it up, eyeballing it, and then getting an idea where the pattern is. And then I'm going to lift it off. Oh, I'm double checking. And then I'm going to take a string of glue and put it where that paper is. And then I'm going to put that paper on top of that glue. You might need to form it a little bit. See, I'm just not setting and forgetting it. I'm working with it, making sure all that whole long strip is in some kind of glue. And then here I'm doing another one. And if it's touching on one end, you can glue those ends together. So I'm going to do another line here. Get the glue working for me, hopefully. Pow, look at that. No, you can't see it. I can't even see the glue, but hey, it's there. Then I'm going to add that strip on top of the glue. And then I'm going to glue the ends together so that I have a better structure. So I'm just going to take a little glue, put a little dot in there, squeeze it, brush it off so it's not showing, and pow. I can take my scissors then and cut down any excess where I do not want it or where you do not want it. You can see here now I'm folding it to get probably more zigzag motion. You can come up with very interesting designs by folding the paper, and it is legal, it will work. Remember, we don't want just flat, straight pieces of paper. We want to create a pattern. We want to create some repetition. We want to create something that has motion without motion. And folding your paper, twirling the paper will help give that illusion because it's going to look like it's in motion. Just like in a comic strip, if you ever read a comic strip, there's motion lines. You know, the only time they use straight up and down lines if something is sitting still and it's transparent, or dotted lines like Wonder Woman's jet. You know, so you see here, I'm just getting stuff ready. We're doing zigzag. I measured it up. I'm putting a zigzag line of glue on my paper. You know, maybe a little bit more glue, and then I'm gonna attach that, and I'm gonna set it and forget it. Eventually, just like with the drawing, you're going to bring other colors in here to either brighten it up, darken it down, depending where you want your shadows, where you want your highlights. I would go with the mid-tone first and then add your shadows and your highlights later. Your mid-tone is going to be like the most paper that you use because it will be the mid-tone, it'd be the basic color. And then you're going to be adding a darker color or more than one darker color to add for your shadows, and then a lighter color or more than one lighter color to add for your highlights. And that should give it an in-between from your mid-tone, and there should be some kind of attempt at a transition from dark to mid-tone to highlight. All right, there's the example. Work.